Welcome to Kapeleris Ultimate Talk TV. Be inspired, informed, and elevate your mind one step at a time. Talking about life, real estate, business, and beyond. Your host, author, speaker, real estate broker, Carmela Zita Kapeleris.
Welcome to Kapeleris Talk TV about real estate and beyond. My special guests today are the President-elect of the Brampton Real Estate Board, Vuong, and Director Denise Dilbey.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Thank you.
Brampton has historically been one of the most affordable areas of Peel, but now it's starting to catch up. Can you tell us what the resale market is like in Brampton right now?
Sure. Well, thank you for inviting us on the show. We love the show, so we really thank you for the opportunity to be here. The Brampton real estate market is absolutely a blistering real estate market right now. If you look at the stats, based on our stats on our MLS system, year over year, and I'm talking about May 2015 to May 2016, if you own a semi-detached or detached property in Brampton, you're probably looking at about a 19% increase, which is just phenomenal.
Yes.
If you own a condo townhouse or a condo apartment, you're looking at a 12% increase. And then rounding that out, if you own a freehold townhouse, you're looking at an astonishing 22% increase. So it's absolutely phenomenal the way the market is doing right now. So we're really excited about what's happening.
Right. And the time on the market is shortened too. Used to be average 15 days on the market, but now probably going very quickly.
The days on market right now is sitting around 11.
Okay.
And what's really interesting about that is the time it takes to sell a house in Brampton right now is faster than it is in Mississauga, Caledon, Richmond Hill, Markham, and even Toronto. So really, Brampton is really just flying off the shelf right now.
And why do you think that is, Lang?
Well, there's a number of different reasons. Of course, when we talk about the Greater Toronto area and what's happening with continued strong immigration into the area, foreign investors that are putting money into an economy and a real estate market that they think is viable. So there's a shortage of housing, obviously, in Toronto. And a lot of that has spilled over into the 905. One of the most telling metrics for us is the months of inventory. And right now, Brampton's inventory is sitting at less than a month. So what that means is, if we don't take any more listings on the MLS and we try to sell everything else that's left, it'll take us around 2 to 3 weeks to get rid of the last property.
Wow. So you're experiencing the same shortage as Toronto and Mississauga, Denise?
Yes, but it all depends on the market, and our statistics show that either of you being Caledon, Halton Hills, even segments within that little cities and towns show a little different in their statistics, but very strong.
Are there some areas of Brampton that are experiencing more growth than others? Because there is a lot of new development and new subdivisions still in Brampton. So, you know, the move-up buyers have somewhere to go to, where Toronto and Mississauga, there's not that much development going on. So do you have some areas that are experiencing more growth?
Yeah, there's two areas that are doing really well. One is the area that's out on Sandalwood between Countryside and Beauvais. That's doing really well. But Fletcher's Meadow really in Brampton is the area that's just doing really crazy amounts of transactions right now. And the average days on market there is sitting at 8 days. And that's Sandalwood up by Chinguacousy area. It's a very popular area of Brampton. So again, houses are just flying off the shelf there.
What's your average sale price?
Well, the average sale prices have really moved up across the board for every type of property. So at detaches, you're looking over 600,000 easily. Semis are over 5. And again, when you come back down to the freehold townhouses, they're sitting pretty substantially in the 400s right now.
Wow, yeah, that's big for Brampton.
It is.
What else is fueling the real estate market, Denise?
I think a lot of people are very pleased with the interest rates and everything else. It's just a matter of the supply and demand. So if you sold your home, where are you going to go? So that also has put a little bit of a damper with regards to, yes, everyone last year, low interest rates, feel good, the economy going well. But now they're sitting back and saying, well, if I sold my home within 11 days, where am I going to actually move to? So we are seeing a lot of development as far as migration coming from the larger cities, being the Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton, even Halton Hills, moving further north into greener pastures, so up by Shelburne, where is a now new growing community as well. So you're looking at that geographic of an hour away from the GTA.
Is there more of a demand in rural properties right now?
I think there is, yes. A lot of it is fueled from a lot of the foreign buyers, but not as many as that you would expect. But I believe now with the sense of community that we have, they're moving out to greener pastures and say the green acres, and wanting a little bit of space between them and their neighbors. So yes, we are seeing we are experiencing also the shorter days on market out in the country area.
Are there some problems with financing rural properties?
Absolutely, and it's complex. The answer is very, complex, and it really depends on the actual rural property in which you're purchasing. And I can have to say that most, not all finance or lenders have a cap of about 5 to 10 acres. So those that are wishing to purchase, let's say, a farm of more than 10 acres, need to be mindful that the financing and the appraisal will only take the house, no outbuildings, and up to that 10 acre. So there are exceptions to the rules, but it just means that you have to go in healthy, and it's not the same purchasing pattern that you would have in town, where you could potentially buy under the traditional 20%. It's very difficult to buy rural properties with 5% down.
Yes, of course. What are some great places to buy rural properties?
Oh, anywhere outside of the town.
I know you provided us with a few pictures. Where are those properties?
Mostly within 45 minutes of Brampton, and then you're looking at Erin, town of Halton Hills, the village of Erin, and as well as Halton proper, so Acton.
And what's the price range?
Oh, it varies. It really does.
Starting?
Just as many different properties within town, location, size of the house, the size of the land.
Acreage.
So 1 acre, just so that you have some reference, is 43,560 square feet. So that gives you some breathing space, but you have any different degrees of 5 to 10, 15, 20. We're finding there's a lot of growth within 100 acre plus purchases right now.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Lang, what other challenges is the city of Brampton facing? Are there any?
Well, one thing that has sort of come on the radar over the last couple of years is secondary suites.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those of the viewers who don't know, a secondary suite, a lot of people call them basement apartments.
Or in-law suites.
Or in-law suites or nanny flats, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But secondary suites are defined as sort of a self-contained unit. So what that means is it's a place where you live and you have a separate entrance, and you can sleep there, you can cook your food and eat there, and you can take a shower there, and so it's completely self-contained. And so Brampton has thousands and thousands of basement apartments or secondary suites. And a lot of them are not registered with the city right now.
Yes, that's true. Is there a new legislation that has come out right now? Like, I know that Mississauga is different than Brampton. So is there a new legislation for Brampton in regards to homeowners that are buying, that they should know, that are buying properties with secondary suites?
Well, the new legislation came out in 2011, and that was around the framework of affordable housing. So the province of Ontario has passed on this to each municipality to figure out the deadlines and how they're going to come up with this framework for secondary suites. And so residents of Brampton right now who have secondary suites who are not registered are going to have to start registering, and there is a process to this.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Denise?
Well, I think that the Brampton Real Estate Board is really mindful of the different challenges that both the buyer and the seller are faced with regards to secondary suites, and we're here to assist our realtors to be able to guide them through that process, to be able to help their buyer and sellers understand the differences between a legal and non-legal secondary suite.
Right. And is there what is the cost of registering a secondary suite, and what is the process?
Well, the application fee is $200.
Yes.
And you can do that either online on the city's website, or you can go to their building division, which is at McLaughlin and Queen. And you have to go through a process.
Through an inspection?
So, well, you have to provide a survey at the beginning, and they also want to see sort of a rendering of where this separate entrance is going to be, and they need to see a layout of the secondary suite. And then after that, once you kind of go through this process, then there's a
Yes.
cost to the registration. And that's $500 if you own the property and you live there. If you own the property and you don't live there, the cost is actually $1,000.
Okay. And what are some of the rules that you have to abide by with these secondary suites, Denise?
Well, Ontario is mandated with regards to this legislation, and all municipalities have a common shared, I think, goal, and that's to make sure that these secondary suites are safe for all applicants, and that to ensure that there's parking and that everyone has a good quality of life. So although each municipality has different rules and how they're applying them,
Yes.
that's the common thread that we all want to adhere to.
What happens if somebody doesn't register a secondary suite?
Well, you're looking at
Either one of you want to answer that?
you're looking at fines of up to $25,000 for an individual if you don't register your suite, and it can go up to $50,000 for corporations. So it is a hefty fine.
Yes.
And you know, getting back to what Denise was saying, you know, this process is to make sure that it is legal and it is livable. So
Right.
these suites do have to comply with fire codes and building codes, as well as the electrical safety authorities. So it is a rigorous process. But it's one that you have to do.
We'll put your website up at the end so people can contact the
Thank
Brampton
you.
Real Estate Board to get more information.
Great.
For right now, let's talk about the proposed mandatory home energy audits. What is it, and how could this program stigmatize properties?
Well, first of all, it's still in its infancy, so it is on the block.
It's proposed, yeah.
With regards to this legislation, it's the mandatory home energy audits. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands that the Brampton Real Estate Board and all realtors do care about the sustainability
Yes.
that we all live in, energy efficiency as well as conservation. What we are looking at from the Brampton Real Estate Board and the Ontario Real Estate Association is that the mandatory aspect hasn't necessarily, first of all, how is it going to be actually regulated and who's going to enforce it, where we've actually seen that even home inspectors right now are just going through that regulation stage.
Right.
The stigmatization of
Yes,
it is
stigma.
basically when we're looking at a property, when it comes onto the market and it's specific to realtors or those that are going onto the MLS system, they're saying that the mandatory aspect of the audit needs to be done and completed beforehand. There's a cost associated to that. And then from that perspective, depending on the home and the severity of the actual, I guess, rating, will determine what would be needed.
Right.
Research has shown that when a buyer purchases a home that is properly priced, they're the ones that'll actually put in the funds to upgrade and upkeep the home.
Right.
There have been past programs that the Ontario and federal government have placed that actually has shown that the retrofitting and the funds in a rebate format have actually then produced better and more significant actual savings as well as the energy.
What are realtors suggesting about this program?
Well, we have, in 2007 and 2012, there was a program where we could retrofit, if you as an individual, Langmore or myself, were going to actually improve windows, roof insulation, then we can then actually receive a credit back for those
Right, the
purchases.
rebate,
The
yes.
rebate. And that had a large, 90% of the actual applicants for that rebate were for energy efficiencies within a home, such as the insulation within the house, upgrading their windows, and possibly their furnace or heating source
Right.
to geothermal and other alternative energies.
Denise, what is the true cost of this program?
It's sky's the limit.
Yeah.
It will depend on the actual cost of the inspection or the audit itself, but it's the findings. So for a lower income family that have their home, and as all of us know that that's a large investment, either for elderly as well as new first home buyers, it could be significant.
Right.
Either the cost of the actual sale price could be diminished, or the cost that is perceived by the buyer and able to make those upgrades.
Well, that's another program where they can go to your website and find more information about. Time's been going by fast. Before we go, I have one more question for you. How does the Brampton Real Estate Board give back to the community and its members?
Well, the Brampton Real Estate Board is a member-based real estate association, and so we serve our members, and we try to help them succeed by giving them tools, resources, and education. But the other things that we do as a board is we do lobby on behalf of consumers, as Denise has been eloquently talking about, and we do give back to some charities. And so over the last several years, we've held some charity events. Most recently, we had a charity golf tournament.
Right.
And we raised some money, and we have a charity of choice, which is St. Louise in Brampton.
Great. Yeah,
and,
that's great. Specifically, what does it do for its members?
Well, for members, again, we provide tools and resources and education, and so we firmly believe that you know, if you are engaging in a real estate transaction, you should hire a BREB realtor, and BREB realtors do go through a lot of education. We maintain a high level of standard, so.
That's great. And all the boards do work together in Peel. I'm sure that, you know, there's a function that you need the Toronto Real Estate Board, the Mississauga Real Estate Board, where you can all lobby together for different causes. So I'm so happy to have you on the show. Is there anything you wanted to say before you go? Any last words?
Well, thank you very much for having us here today.
How can people reach you, and what is the website?
Well, you can go to you can go to.
How about we start your information and then Denise?
Sure, you can go to the Brampton Real Estate Board's website. It's www.breb.org.
Okay, and how can people reach you specifically?
They can reach me specifically at lang@cloudrealty.ca if you'd like to email me.
Okay.
You can find me there.
All right, and Denise, how about you?
Well, it is the BREB, BED.org, and that has a link to all of the items that we were talking about today.
Yes.
And the Brampton Real Estate Board is pleased to be here today.
Well, thank you.
And our organization being a 1955 organization to educate as to
and you are one of the most long-standing directors that I know, too.
One of many.
Yes, you are.
We're all getting old.
And you're also with Royal LePage.
Yes.
So if people can reach you through Royal LePage
Denise at linktorealestate.ca.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure. It was great, all the information that you provided. And if anybody needs more information, they know where to go to. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmela.
Thank you.
Thank you.